Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from Sort of Interesting. We'll be back on board good old Abel's Ark in just a moment. But all I'm going to say with the following video, I hope you like boats, boating, rain, thunder, and a bit more rain on top. Let's go. I'm not sure if it actually looks as windy as it is, but to be honest, it's surprised me now that I've moved down here. Well, I suppose you can see, I've actually got a pretty decent headwind we're going into here. Right then, just to bring you all up to speed, as many of you may have seen, yesterday I had an extremely wet boat trip. This is the following day on from that, depends on how these videos get posted. So, luckily, most of my clothes are pretty much dry. My waterproof coat, I could feel like I still had that weird clammy feeling when I put it on. Sadly, my feet are the only real casualties here, as even with my shoes being in front of the fire, and as you know, a wood fire can put out an intense amount of heat in the direct vicinity in front of it. Even with that, for a good 12 hours or so, my shoes, though much drier than they were yesterday, are still what I would describe as extremely wet. For this brief moment, there's actually sun on our backs as we travel. Beautiful. Just an interesting point here, my friends. So I just had to reverse up and let a boat come through here, and as the chap said, it is a very, very blind bend. Oh, my voice is breaking, my friends. I'm growing up. Just pulled over a second. We're only floating around at the, well, not quite as close to the edge of the canal as we were, just because I wanted to just actually turn the stern gland greasing handle here to force a bit of waterproof grease down into the propeller shaft, just because I felt there's an awful lot of water every time I was pushing the bilge pump, such as that. But it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. I think it just needed doing after the last few trips. Anyway, let's start her up and get stuck in. Off we go, my friends. So it seems we've once again found the grey sky and the wind, but I just want to point out this little section here at the side of the canal. They will have grouse or pheasant shooting go on here at certain points. Flipping heck, it really is windy here. And once upon a time, when me and my dad were boating just to turn Tilly around, they were shooting and you had the gun dogs coming in and out of the canal, and it was absolute mayhem. And every so often you'd hear a load of metallic things hit the boat roof, which was the shot or whatever from the guns firing just up along this hill here, which is always an interesting experience. Right, I need to get into town and sort out stuff there. I've got a driving lesson tomorrow, so I think I'll probably stop a night, maybe 2 nights here, and then move on towards Frankton and Maysbury and what have you. But to be fair, as an unscheduled set of stops that I've made over this last 2 days, having this on the doorstep, I would once again say, is not a bad end result ultimately. Let's get ourselves down onto the edge of the jetty here. Oops. I think the camera's struggling to not show you everything as a silhouette, but to be fair, it is a very bright sky even though it's cloudy, and obviously having all of that white light reflected on the water is surprisingly dazzling for an overcast day. Well, my friends, as you can tell, we're boating along here. It's absolutely beautiful now, and if I just point the camera over to the side, got the extraordinary sight of Blakemere going by. Right, my friends, we'll try not to catch all of our cover on the tunnel wall, but I can't guarantee it. Let's head in. Hopefully our front lights are all working. I've switched them both on just in case. I'm going to tilt slightly outwards, so then that should hopefully let me tilt the front of the boat. Give us a little bit more juice here. tilt the front of the boat in towards the railing, and then that should hopefully be a good base for me to try and keep this away from the wall, but we'll see how it goes. A little bit more juice again. No, that's too much. I always like the way that the orange sort of warm lights light up that little sort of arch of the tunnel in front of the boat. As you can see, it's not the world's biggest tunnel that we're heading through here. If you need any explanation or illustration of just how crazily changeable the weather has been recently, just take a look at this beautiful blue sky ahead, and then look at that terrible rain coming behind us. Sorry, I'm passing boats here so I can't. Friends, I'm just going to moor up here and be done with it for the day, I think. As no word of a lie, I've literally just seen the cloud cut across the sun, and as you can see, all of this very, very dark looking rainy sky is right upon us. So I'm just going to moor up. I don't want another incident like the other day where I was boating in the rain and had to try and dry out all my clothes. I haven't got any more clothes left to dry out. So I'm on mini pizza number 2 here, and if we travel up to the window, oh, ignore the grass on the window from where I was walking up and down in the rain the other day. Yeah, and we're back to some classic British summertime weather. And at the minute, the forecast for the next 5 days is rain every single day. Yep, that's definitely a thunderstorm. How's this for you, my friends? I'm sat on the end of the bed, and we've got quite the experience going. So my friends, just to interrupt the video a little bit here and just show you some extraordinary scenery from this decaying tree in the mere. This is the lake that Ellesmere takes its name from, as far as I understand it at least. So what on earth is the plan? Originally, you may have seen in my extremely wet recent boat trip, I was planning to just hammer it down from the outskirts of Whitchurch down to the Frankton Locks and then down to Maysbury. Given just how bad the weather has been for recent times and how bad it is forecasting being, I basically decided to hunker down for a short while in Ellesmere, just so I've at least got bus transport, so I'm not being punished by the weather on my bike all the time. And now I'm wondering if it's a better idea to rattle the boat all the way up to somewhere like the Trevor Basin or somewhere in that region up towards Llangollen itself, rather than, with these terrible weather conditions forecast, booking myself in to go through the Frankton Locks, which you have to literally book a passage to go down and up onto the Montgomery Canal here, which you then have to travel through the locks between 12 and 2 p.m. on whichever day that you've booked it. And I'm just thinking, after how bad and how wet and totally and utterly soaked through I got the other day, the last thing I want is to be boating and doing locks and stuff like that in those conditions. And a Montgomery Canal isn't a great canal for boating in some respects, because there's very limited moorings and it gets very shallow and muddy, and I just thought I don't want any problems with that weather as well. So what I'm thinking, if I miss that out for the time being and go straight up towards Llangollen and then double back and hopefully go through the locks when it's a bit of weather for it. Anyway, that's just what I'm thinking at the minute. Let's get back to some terrible weather conditions and thunder and stuff. So we've got thunder and rain and all sorts rolling in. Wind's picking up. But how fantastic is that, my friends? Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful rainbow there. Right, I need to close this side window now as the rain's blowing in. Well, my dear friends, I cannot believe that once again we have got another horrendous day. See your boat just coming out of the marina down there, or somewhere, if I can... I can't focus through the rain on the sheets in front of us, sorry. Well, I promised that's what was happening. Well, my friends, as you might hear the boat engine chugging away in the background, how extraordinary is it to once again be looking across Blakemere? Absolutely perfect weather conditions, all the usual sort of stuff, blue sky, trees reflecting, you know the drill by now. However, how extraordinary is it that I've just walked up through the tunnel and it's raining. It's actually raining now, if you can maybe see some of the droplets on the surface of the lake. And yeah, earlier today it was hailstoning. I was doing a driving lesson earlier and I was sweating like a pig, partly because of the intense nature of me behind the wheel, but also because it was an extraordinary sunny day.